everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to our beautiful sanctuary here. We are so glad that you have come to the Center for Spiritual Living in Fullerton. We are a teaching and healing community promoting awareness of the divine potential within everyone. Reverend Dr. Bill's here with us today. And now let's read our purpose statement. We are a loving spiritual community, empowering all to live healthy and successful lives through practicing the principles of science of mind. In his book, It's Up to You, our Ernest Holmes wrote, "Every word we speak is God. Everything we see is God. The buttercup, the sunset, the morning dew nestling in the petal of the rose. That is God, and love and laughter are God. God is everything, everywhere, every place. The innermost presence of our own thought to the outermost rim and circumference of our own experience. In complete confidence, I know I am a perfect expression of God love and God joy. And from that place of oneness, I bless this service here today. There are blessings for each one here and those who cannot join us just because. We know our fellowship and learning bring joy and satisfaction to each one. We're grateful for those who planned and prepared for today's service. There are blessings for all of our practitioners who keep our church and its members and our visitors in the high watch of prayer. There are blessings for each member of our Board of Trustees and gratitude for their dedication and prayerful care of the business affairs of our church. There are blessings for our talented musician, gorgeous music, and graphic contributions to our service. Thank you so much, Tommy. There are special blessings for our Reverend Dr. Bill today as he brings us his special message. In deepest gratitude for each of these blessings, I release my word into the flawless working of the divine law, and let it be. And so it is.
I need to be still, let God love me. I need to be still and let God love me. When this old world starts to push and shove me, I need to be still and let God love me.
Maybe you don't know it, but it's Happy New Year today. Today is the second day of Rosh Hashanah. The year is 5781. So I found a prayer book because I'm married to a Jew, and I copied out some of the responsive readings, and I just love them, so I hope you do too. It's called Your Endless Blessing. Great and holy maker of all the living, you create the world, your child, anew at every moment. An instant's pause in your creative love, and all things would turn to naught. But your blessing glows in every spark of time. Again and again, The morning stars unite to hymn your love. Again, the sun comes forth to sing your light. Again, the angels sing their sacred chant to you. Again, souls intone their need for you. Again, the grasses song their thirst for you. Again, the birds chirp their joy before you. Again, abandoned chicks voice their orphan song to you. Again, springs softly bubble their prayer to you. And still, the afflicted pour out their complaint to you. And still, their soul's prayer splits your heavens. And still, they tremble in awe at your glory. And still, in hope, they lift up their eyes to you. One ray of your light, and we are bathed in light. One word from you, and we are reborn. One hint of your eternal presence, and we are refreshed with the dew of youth. Author of life, as you renew all things, take us, your children, and make us new. Breathe your spirit into us, that we may start life afresh with childhood's unbounded promise. Blessed is the eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has implanted mind and instinct within every living being. Blessed is the eternal our God, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. Blessed is the eternal our God, who opens the eyes of the blind. Blessed is the eternal our God, whose power lifts up the fallen. Blessed is the eternal our God, who gives strength to the weary. Blessed is the eternal our God, who makes firm each person's steps. Blessed is the eternal our God, who provides clothes for the naked. Blessed is the eternal our God, who has made me to be free. Blessed is the eternal our God, who brings freedom to the captive. Blessed is the eternal our God, who crowns Israel with glory. Now join me in prayer. Blessed is our eternal God, creator of the universe, who has made our bodies with wisdom, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs in finely balanced system. Wondrous fashioner and sustainer of life, source of our health and our strength, we give you thanks and praise. And so it is.
There is one love. There is one power. There is one light eternal. God lives through me. God lives through me. God lives through me.
Thank you, Tommy Cosentino. Ooh. Good morning, everybody. Welcome again. I am Reverend Bill Salisbury. Thrilled and delighted to be here. And the theme today, well, before I get to the theme, let's talk about that year, 5741. My God, I was born in 19. That's making me, I can't even do that arithmetic. But it's a lot. Thank you. So the overarching theme is the spiritual equinox. Equal parts spirit and love. That's the spiritual equinox. Or equal parts joy and bliss, or warmth and community. There's so many God qualities that we share as equal, all of them combined. Because remember, at that moment of creation, when everything that is or ever will be came into being, it all came from that one source. It all came from that one substance, the only source and substance there is. That being the source and substance of God, of the divine creator, of that conscious intelligence that brought everything into being. So when it all came with equal amounts of all those things dispersed in every atom, in every quantum, in every tiny piece of existence that there is. And remember, we don't weigh one of them out here and weigh one of them out here and try to get them balanced. They're already balanced. Now we, as the mighty humans that we are, have the ability to offset that balance should we choose, whether we choose to do it willfully or whether we choose to do it through ignorance. Either way, we can still offset that. You know, Sally was talking about in the Jewish scriptures about where we all come with wisdom, and it's true. But that wisdom has a price. And the price of wisdom is twofold, I think. It's innocence. So if we want wisdom, we have to lose a sense of innocence that we come to this existence with. And the other part of that price is control. We can't have wisdom and have control at the same time. And I'm talking about control in a worldly sense. We can't be controlling everything in our life. Not that any of us would try to do that. But sometimes, I feel that impulse. I feel that urge. I think, gee, if I can't control this, how am I ever going to get through it? But so that wisdom is ours, and it did come with us with every other thing that came with us from God. But like everything else, it has a tendency to get covered up as we're building this outer container, as we're growing in these bodies that were once babies, and as we're filling that inner container with those qualities that lead us to that wisdom and to that love and that peace and that harmony and that community. While we're doing that, sometimes, I might even say most times, we're covering up some of that. And our goal, when we finally realize that's going on, is to uncover it and get back to that wisdom, that peace, that love, that joy, that bliss that we were when we came here. Think about the baby. That little bundle of love, that little bundle of joy. Nobody ever says, wow, what a cute little package of potential screaming and pouting and kicking and ranting and raving. We don't say that because that's not how it is. And do babies do that? Yes, that's their form of communication. That doesn't mean that's to be identified with them as part of them. That's their communication. And we have to have a communication. Otherwise, we would never, ever, ever be able to sort out ways of living with each other. Yeah. If you believe there might be, I don't know, we have this tendency to call it alien life, but how about other life? If there is other life, I just have to wonder, how in the world, and I don't doubt for a second that there is, and probably lots of it, but how in the world would we ever manage to coexist with other, don't you hate that word? Other forms of life, when we can't even coexist with our own? When we have trouble living together as a species, how are we ever going to live with other things? In fact, showing up here on our planet, we're not living with other things. That's the control I'm talking about. We have to give up that control in order to gain that wisdom. That control on the grand scale, on a global scale, and right down to that little bit of control in here that tells me that I should be able to determine what you do. Because I can't do that. It's not going to happen. And if I did, would that bring peace? Would that bring that fruit of spirit that we're talking about? Peace? No. It might bring me a little temporary satisfaction. Handle that. Thank you very much. Got that. But that's going to go away, because if that's going to make me happy, when the newness of that and the full brunt of that happiness dissipates, and it will, when it wears off, I have to find another way of satisfying that same need for happiness. I can never satisfy that need of happiness by way of my humanness, by way of my ego. We can't get there mentally, intellectually, physically. We can't get there. We can only get there through, well, we could get there through our heart space, right? Get there through our soul. You ever been in love? Come on, everybody's been in love. What do we say when we're in love? What do we say to our beloved? Oh, you're the very breath that I breathe. It's you who makes my heart beat. You hold the secrets to my soul. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to tell you, when you're feeling like that, that's a pretty good feeling. But that's still a human feeling in that regard, and it's ephemeral. It's not going to last. There's nothing in our human world that's going to last. It's all ebb and flow. It comes, it goes. But the way we can enjoy the peace that comes with that feeling, that is the fruit of God, that is here for us and came with us at the very moment of creation, is to have that same feeling about life, about God, about spirit. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. When we have that same feeling about that which created us, or he that created us, or she that created us, call that anything you want also. When did Forrest Gump said, God's name's Andy. Andy walks with me. Andy talks with me. Andy tells me I am his own. Call it what you want. Just understand that in order for us to get the fruit of peace that comes from that gigantic, I can't even say entity. It's not an entity. It's the entity, the consciousness, the ineffable, undescribable source of everything that there is, that has created each of us, and has created each of us exactly the same, exactly equal spiritually. I know what you're thinking. The same? My God, I don't look like you. You ever sat and watched a ray of sun? You sat in a room when the sun came out after a storm, maybe, and you see those little dust motes floating around, and then you see the rays of the sun. And then you look outside and you see the rays of the sun coming through the clouds. You can see rays of suns under just any number of conditions and situations. They appear to be different because they're in different conditions, they're in different locations, but they're not different. They're the same. Every ray of sunshine comes from the same sun. In our solar system, it's the one sun, but every ray of sunshine we get came from there. They all came equally. So, think of us as little rays of sunshine. We all came from the same source. And we all came equally as that source, as representations of the source, of expressions of it, of manifestations of it. Now when the clouds come over, those little rays of sun might temporarily go out of view. And God forbid, if we ever had little clouds of something come over us, our little ray of sunshine might appear to be out of view temporarily too. And it can be out of view. But mark these words. That divine spark, if you will, that divine ray that we are, that makes us what we are, that creates us, that sustains us, that is us, is inviolable. There's nothing ever that can harm that part of us. Call it our essence. You know, we've got this great language. We have a really robust language, right? We've got ways, multiple ways of describing all these things. And they're all horribly ineffective. But the fact is, that part of us is unassailable. It can't be mediated, it can't be mitigated, it can't be deadened, it can't be disposed of, it can't be destroyed. It's going to be there when everything else that we think we identify with is gone. That's going to be here. And that is made of the fruits of Spirit. It's made of peace. I am the peace that God is. You are the peace that God is. We are each of us the love that God is, the light that God is. Each of us shares equally in that. And that can't be taken away. We can choose to cover it up. But when we get to that part about returning to that wisdom that Sally was talking about, we cannot fail in our quest to find that part of us. If we give lip service to that, we may fall a little short. You know, I mean, it's probably just me, but sometimes I just whine to myself a little bit. Oh, gee, I just couldn't do that. And then, you know, I don't know whether I'm cursed with it or blessed with it, but up pops this voice in the back of my head that says, oh, really, Bill? Did you try hard enough? Did you give it your all? And usually when I'm honest with myself, the answer to that has to be, there was probably a little more there. I might have been holding a little bit back. But the fact is, when I stop holding that back, when I really truly understand who it is that beats my heart and who it is my every breath, it's not only my every breath, I am the breath of God. You are the breath of God. We breathe God, but we are also the breath of. That's like the fruit thing. All of these God qualities are fruits of Spirit, but so are we. We are the fruit of Spirit ourselves. Fruit being, you know, that thing that has seeds within it. Seeds which eventually replant, replenish, regrow. And that's what this existence is all about. Rebirthing. You know, we see it in the smaller cycles. We see it, I mean, people come to live on this earth for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 80, 100, 110 years. And when they leave this plane, you know, the Hindus have this really great way of saying it. They won't ever say, oh, Ravi died. They always say Ravi has left his body. Because dying is just a word that comes with a whole bunch of baggage that we bring to it. You know, it's just all, it's pejorative really when you think about it, and it's always in a negative aspect. But the fact of the matter is, that is still part of the birth and rebirth cycle. You know, I think somebody told me flies live for like 48 hours or something. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 days. But there are things that, you know, live for 24 hours, I'm sure. And other than horses and turtles and things that go on, you know, way, way, way long time. And this planet has been birthed. And the solar system within which we are. And the galaxy within which we are, and the universe within which we are. It has all been birthed. It is part of a life cycle. One of these days, it's going to be a different shape. It's not going to be here the way we know it. Whew, and yeah, I tell you, 5741 made me feel old. That would really make me feel old. So it could go billions and billions of years, but the fact is, it's all cyclical. And it's all fruits of the one Spirit. It all comes from the same place. And it all gets replanted in a different method, a different form. That's what makes the world go round. The only thing that doesn't change is that from which it comes. That consciousness, that spirit, that God, if you will, from which it comes. That's the only thing unchanging. That is the consciousness that causes all things to come into life. And causes all things to change that form of energy that they are and come into new life, different life. But all of it because as fruits of that spirit, we have that seed within us to allow for that rebirth, to allow for that expansion that new birth brings, rebirth. We are ever expanding upward and onward. The journey, of course, being back to where? There was only one destination. There was only one place of disembarkment. There's only one place of returning to. That's that spirit from which we came. And I know this. I know that if we were to give the same credence, the same energy, the same devotion to that which created us in the first place, as we're willing to give to some of those passing, temporary, physical things that come and go from our life, we would experience that full peace, that full love, that full light, that full bliss and joy that we are. Because we are all those things. We're all those things because that's what we're made of. That's how we're made. That's why we're made. We are here for the one spirit to recognize itself, to see itself, to enjoy itself by way of being us. And I'm sure if that consciousness spoke English, it would say something like, man, look at that fruit. Did I do good? Yes. Yes, and we are that good. Thanks for listening. Let's just take this into prayer because that's what we do here in Science of Mind. And we know that in the spirit that we are, the spirit that from whence we came and to which we return, that in our humanness we are allowed to gain the wisdom by transcending those human frailties, by living through those hurts, living through those disappointments and those joys and pleasures. We live through them all and we transcend them all. And transcendence, of course, includes absorption. Everything that comes into us, into our being, gets eventually transcended and absorbed and healed on our road back to that place in the heart and the bosom and the Spirit of God. That is our destiny. That is our birthright. That is our eventual goal, our destination. I know this is the case, and I know that with that peace and that love, that joy, and that compassion and caring and kindness that we are, that when we make that travel, we share our goodness, we share the fruits of our existence, and we thereby help others along that same course with those very attributes that we are granted, we are gifted by the grace of God. We use those to carry others along with us, so that as a humanity, as a species, we do learn to live and grow with one another and to become one with everything that is around us, because we are at bottom one. There's only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is my life now, as Ernest Holmes would say. And it's with this knowing, with this absolute surrendering to this being the case, that I just, with a grateful heart, release this word into that law of God, that law that knows only to say yes. I just release this word, knowing it is already so, knowing it is done. And together we say, so it is. Thank everybody in our congregation, in our spiritual family here and at home. And just knowing that it's because of your loving gifts and tithes and offerings that we are allowed to and able to carry on that work that we do in the community here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Fullerton. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And just knowing that it's your continued grace in giving that allows us to continue. And as you know, you can just mail that in. You can online donate, or you can come down and visit Tomoko et al. Right here at the very center. Get your little shot of spirit at the same time. But again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, there's a solution with babies who don't shoes on their feet. How's the people who are living in the street? Oh, there's a solution. Gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I wanna fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, there's a solution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I wanna fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, there's a solution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
That's Tommy Cosentina. You want that on Sunday, you gotta be here. Not everybody gets that. Nice, thank you so much. Just a reminder that our practitioners are always here, always available. Well, maybe not physically here, but we're always here. You can reach us by phone, by email, by snail mail, by showing up here. And what we do is we just live to talk to you. So please, if you're in need of conversation, thoughtful prayer, let us know and we're going to take care of it. Well, let's know together right now. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's this thing called fruit. The fruit of Spirit. The love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the happiness that I am. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my soul. And I accept it as my birthright.